Literally, actually, the government people came and took over the company during that period. Our motto was very clear. We should not fleece people, right? Or even the doctors for that matter. They are doing it, they are fleecing customers, that we were not allowed to take our own cylinders for our one of our relatives. But once you have taken a decision, don't step back.
Today's episode is sponsored by Talking Ants. Talking Ants is a full-stack video production company that offers end-to-end services, from storyboard creation to script writing to editing. They broadly operate in 4 categories: corporate videos, brand and product videos, documentaries, and social media videos. To know more about them, check out the description. Our guest for today is Dr. Venkatachalam. He is the founder of Oorjitha Healthcare Systems LLP. They are in the space of providing turnkey solutions for healthcare, pharma, and manufacturing sectors, specializing in design and build of operating rooms, clean rooms, CSSD consulting, medical gas system, and patient care system. With his years of experience ranging from corporate and then to entrepreneurship, he has a lot of information and knowledge to share with us. So let's hear more from him. Dr. Venkatachalam, thank you for coming here today to our podcast called Talk of Town.
Thank you for inviting me too.
Yes, a very hearty welcome to you. I think I would like to begin by understanding what kind of childhood you had, or where were you, born and raised? What was your family like?
If you talk about my childhood, my father was in railways, working in railways. So he had a lot of transferable jobs. So we were, in different states initially. Like initially when I started my schooling, it was like in Karnataka and things like that. But I was born and brought up in Palakkad. So after that, I did my diploma in electronics and communication. Then I straight away got into a job.
Okay.
So my first job was like Philips.
Okay.
So I was like a service engineer doing repairs of, the TVs, the radios, and all those days. So that was my start. Then gradually I, got into the IT segment because that's when I came to Bangalore. Right. So gradually then I started moving into bigger companies. My last stint was with the Tata Group.
Okay.
I was the international vice president. Prior to that also I was head of the international operations in a company called 3i Infotech.
Okay.
I was heading the operations all over the world, except the US, first Europe and everything I was handling. The same thing I got into when I joined Tata. The reason of me joining Tata was my boss joined Tata, so that happens, right?
Yes, yes.
So the immediate peer and the person who he feels that
Is
he is capable of driving the things. So he took me to this when he joined Tata. So that's how I was there with Tata, right? So that's in nutshell, from where my childhood was.
Nice.
And I came into this.
So I think it was a very conventional, regular South Indian family.
Correct.
Which I think believed in employment, because I think most of us sort of study and we want to become employable.
Correct.
Right? We attain skill sets or degrees to get employed in these big companies. But then I think you went on to leave all of this and become an entrepreneur.
Correct.
What was your mindset shift? What happened? I know you said it was taking a toll on you, but then it is not an easy decision to make also. And I'm sure many professionals today are in those crossroads. So what went on through you, and what made you take that stance of wanting to do entrepreneurship?
The entrepreneurial journey, if you ask me, or to start, why we started is we were self-content. Like for example, if you are earning say X amount, and if you have set up everything for your family and everything, then what is actually needed, or what was actually needed was typically, for example, like some X amount, X minus so amount, right? So we thought if that is coming to us,
That's enough.
that's enough kind of. So that's when we started the business, or we actually took up franchisee.
Ah,
So initial this one was to take up franchisee to learn business,
got it. Okay. Okay.
right? So if you ask me, for people who are employed and they want to get into business, I would definitely recommend them to first get into a franchisee model, then learn the business.
Okay.
We actually started off with a franchisee of Green Trends. You might have heard of Green Trends
A salon? Yeah.
salon business. So
Yeah.
we took up a franchisee of that. The reason we actually went through franchisee India to figure out so many things like Cafe Coffee Day, Starbucks, those kind of things. Even the Medal Climax kind of. So we visited, we did a lot of studies on all those things before entering into Green Trends. So Green Trends was the only thing that was like giving a good returns.
Okay.
So we got into Green Trends. Then once you have built the appetite, one outlet, then another outlet. So like that we started 2-3 outlets. And then we did a lot of improvisations within their systems itself,
Okay.
which we used to implement in our outlet. They used to come, the company people used to come and take this and then spread it across to
Wow.
all other outlets, the processes, the systems. So those all came obviously from our corporate experience
Yes.
only.
Yes.
And then we enjoyed actually bringing all those processes, systems. There will be resistance when any process or systems are
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, we implemented it. We found it successful also. So that's how
Very
we
nice.
got into the business part.
Very nice, very nice. And I think doing a franchise is a great tip, just
Yeah.
because I think there is a setup already and then you build upon it. So I think that's an excellent
Absolutely. See,
advice.
the way I even tell even the new people who wants to get into the business, they talk to me also. Say, I want to do this, I want to do that. I said, first you figure out if there is any franchisee model on this. Because if you are into a distribution, then there is no problem, because you have to just have some vehicle and then some billing system, and then people to do collections and all that. That's a different ball game altogether. But if you are really wanting to understand what is business, you have to get into a franchisee model. If
Agreed.
you are not from the business background.
Yes, yes. Excellent.
Yeah, so that will help them
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
So you can learn a lot of things from there, and then move ahead. You can move ahead after the franchisee. Maybe you can sign it up for only 3 years, 4 years. Afterwards, you can start your own outlets or whatever.
Yes.
Just like that.
Super. So I think from there, your company is called Oorjitha Healthcare.
Correct.
I love the name, by the way. So what does it mean, the name itself?
Actually, the Oorjitha is the name from the Sahasranama, Vishnu Sahasranama.
Okay.
It was one of the names that we picked up.
Yeah.
And then we follow little bit of numerology.
Okay.
So the words totaling and all that, which has to match with our name numerology and all that. So
Got it.
that's how it was like Oorjitha Healthcare Systems. We had to add the LLP because only adding the LLP was becoming the numerological
Okay.
thing for us. So we went ahead and registered as an LLP. But the path to coming to Oorjitha Healthcare Systems was again right from our franchisee system only. Like COVID came up, right? So during the COVID, what happened is like, or little prior to COVID, we were like discussing internally. Me and my wife are the partners for the company, so right. we were discussing internally. See, look, what next? Everybody have to think that what next.
Yeah.
Now this business is like doing something. So what next? So we went into that what next part, and then we started actually distribution. So the distribution was nothing but related to the cosmetic field only. Like the same company, Kavin Care, we took up the sub distribution.
Okay.
Right. So that was in 2019 or something like that. Yeah, 2019. No, 2017 or 2017 rather. So then 2009. So for 2 years we were continuing that sub distribution along with our existing salon business, which was like giving good returns for us. In 2019, what we did is we added, since we were doing sub distribution, we added some medical products for that sub distribution. Maybe it was like some sixth sense or something working on us, or some maybe inner thoughts. So we added some medical products onto that.
Okay.
Like it's called AccuSure, the products of AccuSure, your BP monitors, blood sugar monitors,
Yeah. Yeah.
those kind of things.
Yeah.
So we had a sub distribution setup for that. So that actually helped us in somewhere, balancing the outflow or the cash crunch during the COVID times. So we were like supplying to hospitals and pharmaceutical companies, pharmacies. So it was helping us a lot that time. Of course, COVID, the saloon industry was the worst hit, so to say.
Yeah. We were not allowed to.
Yeah, since it was a touch sensitive thing, so it was not, we were not allowed to operate only. For 2-3 months we had to shut down, but at the same time we had to pay salaries, we had to pay rent.
Yeah.
So that was it. So our sub distribution was worked. So maybe our intuition or whatever it is, or the sixth sense, whatever we call it, right? So that prompted us to get into this sub distribution, and the distribution was helping us. The COVID came, the distribution setup like boomed.
Yeah.
For example, I used to I had a storage area, a car shed taken for the storage area, but that was full, and then I had to even store it in my house also. All the the sanitizers, the
Okay.
the liquid soaps, whatever
Yeah,
that
yeah.
used to come right for those. So we had to one room. My son's room was like fully fully stored with all these
products.
goods,
Oh, wow.
products. So that actually helped us, so to say. And during the COVID time, it so happened that my cousins, my immediate first cousin, my cousins, other second cousins, and all those people, they are all into business. They have been there since 15-20 years in the business. So we all had a casual talk as to the COVID has happened, now the business, because factories were also not allowed to open for some time. There were restrictions, a lot of restrictions in the factory business. So we all sat together and we thought what we can do together. So that's how we started at that point in time. We started manufacturing oxygen generation plants.
Oh.
Right. So for the hospitals, it became mandatory from the government itself that the oxygen generation plants had to be.
And this is during COVID?
During the COVID,
Okay.
2020, 2021 times. So we were manufacturing oxygen generation plants and oxygen concentrators also. So oxygen concentrators, there was a huge demand during that time. So we did some import also of oxygen concentrators. But our focus was primarily selling our product. See, what we produce has to be sold in the market. So that's where our journey started in terms of building the hospital operation theaters, ICUs. Then so gradually we started doing, initially we were doing so many things, but then after 2-3 years we started focusing only on 6 verticals.
Okay.
So the 6 verticals, so to say, is like Operation Theatre Design and Build. CSSD, which is called like Central Sterile Storage Department. So that's the heart. These two are the heart of the hospital, of any hospital for that matter. So design and setup, that involves specific design skill sets for the CSSD and OT. So we started doing that. Then since we are all like techno-commercial people,
Yeah.
like me and my brother, and we both are like techno-commercial people. So
that's an interesting journey. So I want to understand now the healthcare system itself is a very dynamic space. There is so much advancement happening, and there's so much newness coming into the system.
correct.
How much of that affects your business?
For us, that doesn't affect much because we are not into the equipment space.
At all? Okay.
See, the equipments are where the advancements are happening.
Okay.
So if you take hospitals where they use robotic arms and all for surgeries, so OTs and OT, so they require the same setup of OT, but the equipment that they use for the surgery is different. Of course, some couple of things that are there inside will have changes. Like if we take a standard OT, you will require an OT light without a camera. But when you talk about robotic surgeries, so your OT should have camera, your OTs inside should have camera, OT lights will have camera, anyway the robotic arms have camera, because the doctor is sitting in a control panel and then he is doing the surgery, he is not going inside the OT. So that per se, if you see the percentage of microbes getting, or the cleanliness of the OT will be very high as compared to the standard OTs that are there. Because equipments will have oils, greases and things like that, right, for its robotic arm movement and things like that. So we didn't find any challenge as such.
Okay.
Because OT is an OT, so we have to design whether it is modular OT or semi-modular OT.
Okay.
So we have to design it and then
Okay.
build it based on the customer requirements or based on the specialities.
Got it. So now typically now when a hospital is done, at what stage do you guys enter?
See, if we take up turnkey consultancy, then we start from the scratch. So we take up even greenfield projects or brownfield projects.
Okay.
So brownfield projects will require a lot of renovations, which will be like existing hospitals taking over, and then they do a lot of changes inside. But in greenfield projects, we get right from the design architectural front, and then up to the construction and handing over.
Okay.
So we do end to end. So we do the construction, we do the OTs, ICUs, everything. The end to end setup we do and hand over. Except we don't get into the part of manpower and all that.
Okay.
It's only the infrastructure part that we get into.
Including the hospital beds, OTs,
Everything.
Everything. Okay. So I think you did mention that COVID was your breakthrough, but was there a specific instance that you can quote where Oorjitha was very heavily involved in sort of supporting the system then?
Yeah, during the COVID, I told you, right, we had imported a lot of oxygen concentrators and all that. We were also manufacturing oxygen concentrator in our Coimbatore consortium company. Conglomerate, we are not calling it as consortium, it's a conglomerate. So we were doing that oxygen concentrators as well as oxygen generation plant. The need for, plus the oxygen cylinder itself, we had so much of services to do during the COVID time from our company, the Sri Venkatachalam carbonic gases. Literally, actually, the government people came and took over the company during that period. Because the allotment of the cylinders and all were driven by them.
Yes.
So the only control we had was on the oxygen concentrators, where if we wanted to help somebody, we have done that. We have done that. We have given at a very nominal rent also. the new machines which we have wanted to sell,
Okay.
we have given it on rent because we wanted, the initial thing was like we wanted the person to survive kind of.
Survival, yes, correct.
So sales and other things can happen, but our motive was like initially let the person survive. The same product, then he will buy it or I can sell it off. Maybe some small discounts I'll have to give. That's okay. But we wanted to do this community service plus the sales. So we had imported a lot of oxygen concentrators. That was the primary thing that we felt that we did something to the community
Society,
or
yes.
society.
Okay. Because I think the demand that time was
Incredible demand, huge demand.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling we were not allowed to take our own cylinders for our one of our relatives had a problem and then we had to get one cylinder oxygen. We could not take, we were not allowed to do that.
Because the government had taken over and
That is what prompted us to do, because see, we are technically strong, our companies are technically strong, so that's when we did our own oxygen concentrators.
Okay. Super. Now, I think the healthcare system is like really expensive. So there is also this, notion that everything surrounding this, all these accessory business are also so expensive. Is there anything that your business contributes in terms of making healthcare itself more accessible and cost effective in that sense?
See, our the entire journey, we have been saying that we keep minimal profits.
Okay.
Anybody wants, we don't charge exorbitant to any hospital as well as even for B2C customers. Our motto was very clear. We should not fleece people, right? Or even the doctors for that matter. If they are doing it, they are fleecing customers, that's their this one. But born and brought up as a Brahmin, I didn't want to get into that kind of. So we were very clear in terms of like we'll keep minimal margins and work. That was taking care of us. It's not that it's not taking care of us. It's good that we are doing. So partially I am also serving the society somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So for them to bring down the costs. For example, if you take simple, I will just give you a simple example. A 20 by 20, which is a 400 square feet modular OT, fully modular OT, if I have to construct it will cost 30 lakhs.
Okay.
So there we do a lot of innovations. How can we bring down the cost of 30 lakhs to 25 lakhs, but still maintain the standards and all that. So that is where we have been helping hospitals. So now we have come out with something different also. Very recently, to even further reduce the cost of constructing an OT.
Okay.
Because I think maybe in some other discussion or something like that I can roll it out. But this is currently we are doing that for a hospital, and we know for sure that there will be the statutory approvals and all will not be an issue, because we follow the technical aspects of the requirements.
Now I'm just curious to understand, you're in a space where it is extremely sensitive, right? Your OT designs or
Correct.
Clean room, it's a very sensitive area to be in. It's very niche also. So what are some of the challenges you've encountered as an entrepreneur in this industry?
For us, the challenge is always if you take up a hospital setup, start right from the beginning, if we don't get construction, the problem we face is like the whatever we have told the doctors or the workmen or the civil construction people, they don't do it on time, so our projects get delayed.
Okay.
Because of that. Otherwise, most of the times that is the problem in new constructions. We tell them that, see, I want to have these things within this wall. These provisions should be done. So if you take a hospital management, For them, overall project is their this one motive, right? So for us, only this portion, small portion.
Okay.
So the delay and challenge is mostly faced there. Sometimes product products were also actually sometimes products were also getting delayed because initially we were not manufacturing panels. We used to buy panels and all that. Fully modular OTs require panels and all. Initially we used to buy and then install it. Now what I have done is last year I have gotten into a partnership with a company manufacturing panels, doors and all that in Bangalore itself in Dabaspet. So I have now overcome that challenge. So that was a learning for me.
Okay.
Where my dependency was like onto the project team, the products that had to come in. So my project plan per se was like taking ups and downs depending on the availability. So if we do something, then we have to stop our team, then they complete the work, then we have to bring our team. So these kind of things. So now we have, since this is our learning, we have also started pushing for fully modular OTs.
Okay.
So fully modular OTs, it so happens that you give us the bare shell, rest all we do it. Of course, it's costly, but we are bringing the cost down for them.
Okay.
That challenges also we have overcome. We have not. It's not that we have not faced challenges. Always in any project there is challenge. Ours is more of a project-based working, right? So there will be always challenges.
So, sir, I think we are going to shift our focus now to the business side of it. Now, for budding entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs who want to be in the healthcare segment, what are some of the opportunities there are for someone who's entering, especially in the area of work that you do?
In the area of work that we do, it requires expertise.
Okay.
So for any person as an entrepreneur who wants to or get into entrepreneurship, for him taking up sub-distribution or selling non-invasive, there are two categories of equipments, non-invasive and invasive equipments. So selling non-invasive equipments to hospitals, because those are all like regular requirements in healthcare sector.
Okay.
You take your ECG machine, you take your monitors, right? You take your general blood pressure monitors, those kind of things, like trolleys, small things which as a trader you will have to start if you are getting into a healthcare. Moving up the chain, like what we are doing is, it takes years basically, or you should have that kind of an experience as a person, or you should have experience or the knowledge to gather things quickly.
Okay.
So main aspect is you should be very shrewd. As a businessman or as an entrepreneur, you should be very shrewd, because again they have challenge there when I am talking about this. When a new entrepreneur, new business, or somebody starts up a new business, goes to a hospital, and he tries to sell, he can sell, no problem. But getting out payments from the doctors, that's a big challenge.
Okay.
Even we face that challenge. Even getting 10,000, 20,000 rupees kind of payments also becomes a big challenge. I'm not saying that all doctors are like that, but there are, I would say 50%, this is the mindset.
Okay.
So if they are able to manage that, or if they have that kind of a financial background, then they can step into this.
Okay. So, in terms of educational qualification, what are some of the things that will support this kind of work?
Um, educational qualification, if you say per se, he should have done some kind of hospital management course
Okay.
to understand what
Goes into
goes into it.
Okay.
Else, he should have been he should come from a family where, like me, where we were all doing almost like 60-70% of the products for the hospital. So product knowledge is very important. He should gather first product knowledge. Second, how to sell. So he should gain selling experience. Straight away, if somebody, for example, if somebody is trying to come from admin, he has been all along working in admin, suddenly he wants to come into healthcare and sales. No, it is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
I am very candid about it. It's going to be difficult for them. And that is where I was again. I'll go back and say that let him start with the franchise model.
Okay. Okay. But in this particular area, like what about bioengineering and
Biomedical engineering and all is different.
Okay.
Those are all specific to equipment servicing or equipment repairs, knowing the equipment, what that equipment does. So doctors cannot live without biomedical engineers.
Okay.
That is, again, it's a job oriented kind of a thing.
Okay.
It's not a business.
Okay.
So they can get into, if they want to get into a business, being a biomedical engineering person, he can get into. But he should have served at least a couple of years in a hospital.
That will give the added.
That will give the added this one, because the pressure in a hospital is very high.
Okay.
You will see different kinds of patients coming in, right? Serious case, non-serious case. So there are different levels of cases that will come to the doctors. So it requires specific experience. So how to tackle that? It is exactly the reason that we also didn't get into that equipment business.
Okay.
Then you are doing business just for the sake of doing business.
Yes. So that brings me to the next question. So say there is an aspiring entrepreneur. What are the three do's and don'ts of the business that you would like to communicate to them?
One, he should not. I am talking about the do's first. Okay, let me talk about the do's and then I will say
Sure.
don't. The do's is first, he should be very strong in financial management. Any business, he should be very strong in financial management. So that is the first part. Second part is he should be very employable, employee friendly,
Yeah.
because they are the ones who are going to support you. The third thing, if you ask me, is like you should have the right approach to the client approach, right? Before they become customers, the approach to the clients, you should be open. So these are the three things that we have learned and we have
Yeah.
implemented. The don'ts is, don't leave payments pending for more than 45 days.
Okay.
Second point is, apart from payments, you should not be like, typically what happens is entrepreneurs do everything on their own. You should try to put in systems and processes and people. So we talk about in the marketing, we talk about the 3 P's,
Three P's, yeah.
people, process, and so that they should implement that. So you should learn to listen. So whether it is either from your customer, from your parents, or whoever it is, you should first listen to what they have to say. Then you can object. Then you can do a lot of ifs and buts and pluses or minuses, and then you come out with a decision. But once you have taken a decision, don't step back.
Yeah.
Second is that you need to you need to practice risk taking. In a business, you know that some days business will happen, sometimes business doesn't happen, some months business may not come as expected. So you need to know to take that challenge and that risk with you. If you are not a risk taker, don't get into the business. A risk taker doesn't mean that you need to be a you need to jump into everything. Calculated risks.
Yeah.
That is what somebody has to take.
Super. I think it was an incredible conversation. Thank you so much for spending this time with us and sharing your experiences. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Today's episode is sponsored by Talking Ants. Talking Ants is a full-stack video production company that offers end-to-end services from storyboard creation to script writing to editing. They broadly operate in 4 categories: corporate videos, brand and product videos, documentaries, and social media videos. To know more about them, check out the description.